Hi, it's Ruben with CampHatch, and I'm sitting in my soon-to-be converted camper van. First thing we're working on here today is air conditioning, and I've got some, I think, exciting results from my Midea Portable Inverter. This is the older model, rated at 1200 BTU, doesn't have the heater in it, but I can see already some reasons to upgrade for going off-grid. I'm sitting here in the van in the garage, so it's in the shade. It's about 90 out and pretty humid, but I'm keeping pretty comfortable. And my power meter outside, which is on the 110 volt side, says we're only using 300 watts right now to keep it this way. So maybe not a bad test of keeping the van cool after the sun goes down, since we are in the shade of the garage. Let me tell you how we do it. Working on installing a Midea Inverter air conditioner, portable, in our camper van conversion. So I've got it where I want it to use the otherwise unused passenger seat space when we're off the road. You can see the dual vent hose on the Midea's going to come out nicely there. On the side, I'll be making a piece to go in with the window down for that later. But thought this was a good time to stop and take a look at what we've got. Making some progress on the Midea Portable AC install in the future camper van. This is the 1200 BTU inverter unit, fitting in the front seat pretty nicely. Got a tote lid down just to keep the wheels from making depressions in the foam too bad. We covered it with a tablecloth because the pan does hold water. I'll have the hose hooked up so I can drain it before I try to move it for moving down the road in the day. Looks like we're going to come out the window pretty nicely here with the double duct on the Midea. So I'll be making a piece next that's going to fit in with the window roll down. So I'm sitting in the second row seat. We'll have a bed here eventually, and here's the backrest of the passenger side. There's the driver's side, pardon the mess. I'm opening and closing windows, so I got the hood open to hook the battery charger up. But there's the Midea blowing back at me. It's a portable unit. Over here to the side, you can see I've blocked the window, got a separate video about how to make cool window blocking. This is my template. I'll make this out of corrugated plastic eventually, or maybe a solid sheet. But I've got the cord and the dual duct hose running out the passenger window. I wanted to go up here because when you're camping in the van, when you're off the road, it's a space that I didn't have any other plans for, and the air conditioner fit seemed like a pretty good place to stick it. The only thing I don't like is you have to move it to get going or to pack up. So we'll see how quick we can get that process. Here we are outside. The Midea is blowing hot air right in my face out of the double duct here. You can see it as it's a portable, but it has hot air is blowing out strong here, and then here's the cool air return. I've got the flipper on here. I thought it'd be a little rain protection, and I actually overcut my holes a little bit in my cardboard, so I kind of needed it to hold it. But it'd also be possible to like run a duct up to get this away from the immediate air intake. It'll up the efficiency a bit. If you run on solar or battery, that could be important. Here's the really big thing. This is a 1200 BTU unit, and it will cool that van right down. But right now it's running at 284 watts, and it's not going to run any more than 284 watts. And the way I'm doing that is I'm controlling the Midea through their app on my iPhone, with which I'm also filming, so I can't show you the app, but the app lets me set the fan speed. The interior fan inside the van is set right now at 10%, which I probably don't have any way to show you, but you can see it on the app. It's an inverter unit, so there's separate motors for the indoor and the outdoor fan. But with the indoor fan here set at 10%, and yes, it's running, it really is that quiet. There you go. It's quiet. With this down to 10%, I'm not really sure how low it'll let me go, but I thought 10 was pretty good. The compressors, which are inverter driven, will not run any faster than the inside fan here at 10% is able to keep up. So the compressor speed, the outside fan speed, that's all tied through the processor to this 10% fan speed that I'm controlling. So in this environment, I've got the set point cranked way down. I don't know if it'd ever get there unless it got a little cooler outside, but it's keeping comfy and it's pulling 300 watts. Here's the Midea remote. Doesn't give me a great indication of that fan speed. I've got to do that with the app. Shows me that I'm cool mode and that I've got a set temp of 74 and it'll flip back. It's reading that it's 79 in here right now, and the app even tells me what the temperature outside is. It's up around 90. So my wife says it's supper time. I'm gonna go in and eat some supper. I'm gonna see, just leaving this thing on 10%, if we ever get more than 300 watts outside and if I can pull this inside temperature down much from 79. This is be about like pulling off the road at supper time and the sun's getting low, finding a shady spot and just seeing what the AC can do on batteries if you can afford 300 watts for a couple hours. See you later. That really wasn't an hour for supper or anything, but we are cooling down. We're from 79 down to 78. Outside, we are blowing warm air. Inside here, it's comfy. I didn't eat supper in here, so it's not quite the same as my wife and I hanging out in the van because it's hot outside. No load, but it is cooling down. Let's see what that power meter reads. $260 watts, so able to cool at 260. Gonna leave it there, see what it does for the next couple hours. All right, a couple hours later, fan's been running at 10%. It's cooled down out here a bit, but it's pretty humid. We did peak at some point at 581 watts. Still would have been safe with a 1,000-watt converter. Flipping through some other things. We're running at 4 watts right now. That's interesting. And there we've used about 0.6 kilowatt hours. The timer there, 2.5 hours. That's how long we've been running for that 0.6 kilowatt hours. And back to the 4 watts. So the unit is not blowing right now, and I don't know why. So we're gonna check that out. All right, it is still running inside. It is just, yeah, it's just not running the outside fan, or I assume the compressors. 75 in here. The app said 76. Set point is still, oh, I bumped it accidentally there, so it kicked in. Yeah, so it had shut everything down, just maintaining. Sweet. I'm wondering if, since it just kicked the compressor back on, if that's when the wattage goes up. So let's look at that. So yeah, here's a compressor start, fan at 10%, and the wattage definitely getting up there. Interesting. So working on catching up, having shut itself off. So overall, very efficient. Just kind of wondering if the peak wattage is what it's going to do. Still might have to have a 1,000-watt inverter to run the thing, even if you don't let it go into max out mode. All right, we'll come back and see where this goes. Oh, let's go check the temperature in the garage here. At 87 we're down to, so she's still pulling down inside the van, quite a bit cooler than the outside air. And there the wattage is heading back down as it goes. So yeah, so it shut itself off, outside fan and compressors, and they do ramp up a bit when it starts back up, even with the fan turned way down low. And that was one of the things I was kind of curious about. We're on our way back down, nice and comfy inside. See how she does out in the heat tomorrow.